too loud. Um, so I'm having trouble getting a bias here. It does look like, uh, um, let's just start over. Oops. We do have a shift here with a clean draw of liquidity on the relative equal lows on the Dow. So to me, it's pretty clear there. But the question is more so like, where are we going to go? And a lot of these guys created SMT with YM as they came higher off of this low and all of these lows, whereas YM still being weak. And even Russell here um, is being weak too. But I mean, obviously getting that bounce here. So we did get a technical setup yesterday that I mistraded. Well, we had relative equal highs coming back up into the previous area where we had the same thing. Took those out, chopped around a bit, and now we're selling off. No lows have been taken besides on NASDAQ. NASDAQ's taken out this low here. And so now there's the opposite kind of S&T where NASDAQ's making a lower low versus the Dow. And ES is still holding the new week opening gap area with still holding these S&T areas. So we just got a hit to the low here with NASDAQ, but NASDAQ now has relative equal lows down here. So that may be taken out one more time, maybe. And obviously we're getting a rejection here in Russell and YM. There was an S&T here, so it makes sense for Russell to come down. We had bearish flows in SPY, we had bearish flows in Qs, and for IWM we had mixed. Both were up, and yeah, that's interesting. So I feel like a long is still possible here somewhere, just because it's looking like YM wants to take out these lows, maybe back down to the new week opening gap. And these ones have all traded back into that besides Russell. And then Russell has relative equal lows here. So Russell may just be trading this range now. And with this SMT, this should have been a short. So how could I have traded this short? Or how can I trade this short still? Well, nothing there on the 1 or the 4. No market structure shifts. 30 minutes. Still nothing. There was a shift there, and then we just took that out. And then we're holding this shift into the 2-day open. If we zoom in, and then we had a nice shift down, and then we just rebounced to the order block. And now we're back into the new week opening gap, an old one with relative equal lows here. Excuse me. So, I don't know, it's just kind of tricky there. So everything's kind of tricky. But right now we're getting an SMT here with ES and NASDAQ. Okay, but anyways, I'm kind of all over the place. So let's look at the hard time frame. So we've rebalanced a good part of the week on YM. We've traded it up into a premium on ES and NASDAQ with bearish flows. So yeah, bearish bias. Okay, I've already traded back into that. We've had a SMT at the highs with NASDAQ being higher. But that makes sense because we didn't have ES SMT, but we had the Dow Jones SMT, which might have been enough for NASDAQ. So we still have bullish SMTs at the lows for sure, and we may just make them stronger as the Dow may want to come down into the weekly fair value gap. So I think the Dow is actually should be the easier technically. So I may be looking for a setup here in the Dow. Um, but yeah, let's see if the Dow flow is interesting. Not very interesting. Kind of tricky though. But yeah, we've just got a nice easy soup that that was traded into nicely on both Russell and the Dow. So I think both of those could be a good short. It's just ES and NASDAQ are making S&T. But the flow was not. There was a little bit of bullishness in the tide. The tide was bullish, and there was a lot of call premium rising into the end of the day. Holdings are also bearish on Qs. Lots of call selling and put buying on Qs. So I don't like that. If they take profit right at the open, then yeah. That'll tell a different story. It's just where's the SMT? There is an SMT here, but it's just don't know if it's valid because we want to see. Okay, so we had so this was the old SMT that caused. Yeah, so here's the SMT that caused the movement. There we go. That makes sense. This was the SMT that caused the movement in the ES or in the NASDAQ. So ES came lower, so that caused. Oh wait, no. That is a SMT. That's still in play. That's okay. That's an SMT that's still in play. And now we just got another one. But so maybe long ES. Okay, wait. So we had SMT here with ES being weaker. We got the bounce out of there with a bounce price range, new week opening gap, order block. And then now we have relative equal lows here. But besides that, we have a new low here in NASDAQ and now an SMT, all in an area of interest. So this SMT level here, where ES made a new low, could be a long area, even though NASDAQ already played out. Okay, there was an SMT here. This is what caused the move in the NASDAQ. We had the SMT with ES there, marking the bottom for NASDAQ. Okay, and then coming back down, we created a new SMT into the exact same SMT level. And then we got a nice gap up to rebalance the range. And now we're heading back down, and NASDAQ's taken out that level, causing another small bounce. And now it's ES as the one making that lower low, making it seem like this could be some sort of a bottom, at least short term. So we do have an SMT here. We've got an intermediate term SMT basically still into play. If you mark this out. It's just we already kind of got a move out of that where NASDAQ did NASDAQ did deliver higher. It took out this high. Okay, ES also took out high, but it also took out. Tagged that high, took that high out, yeah. So there was a movement already there. So this low is significant here. And then this low. So this little range here. So I think, yeah, we'd want to see a cross below this range on either ES or NASDAQ coming down below here, maybe. But I don't see that happening. NASDAQ doing that. I could see a sweep of these lows for an SMT turtle soup long. We do have SMT here on the smaller time frame already, but we also had this low get taken. So it's just kind of, we have a reason for there to be SMT, like technically, instead of just it being there for no reason other than smart money. We have a reason for NASDAQ to be stronger here since we've taken out liquidity. And it's kind of already done its job. So it's just being a little laggy on the way down, is what I'm thinking. Cool. So not gonna long that. So yeah, I think I like that idea there. I want an SMT long with ES cracking this low, maybe. Especially if that lines up with YM making a new low, which it probably will. Actually, yeah, I mean it probably would line up because YM would have to take out this low to match it at all. So it probably will be making a new low. And there's already SMT in play. So it looks like we're just chopping to accumulate for longs. And there is technically shorts in play right now on the Dow. And this is just all happening right into 6:30. This issue here. Is there a pool of liquidity here? Maybe on my hourly. Well, maybe we want to take out those highs, like I was thinking, before we just go lower. So the high is put in here, then YM makes the new high, and then gets that pullback for the which takes out this high, and then ES makes a new low here. And it still is holding this fair value gap. With SMT. Alright, I think I may just go for this. If there's a little shift in here, then I like it. But technically, is there a shift? So yeah, there was a shift. We've taken out these lows. We've taken out this low. Man, this is a tough one. Technically, there was a shift here, but it got immediately rebalanced. But yeah, we had relative equal lows, and we swept that. So we've swept all these lows. So this wick is most likely the bottom here. Nothing on the 5-minute. If we go down to the 1-minute, there is a shift here, which we traded into. Shifts again, trades back into the order block. I don't want to just buy in. I would like to get a fill down into here using the wick. Probably right below this move here. I'm looking at my trading chart. Trade of 8. Bearish flows into the day, but I mean that price was going down, so it makes sense that the flows would be bearish. If anything, there's a divergence in the calls from the bearishness. So I think I am looking for a long here. I think Russell and the Dow could be shorts still. They went up while price was going down in NASDAQ and stuff yesterday. So I think I do like a long here. And I think I do want to get in. Let's see if we can get in at 475. That's risking 20 points. But yeah, we'll try to wait for the open, or we did put in that bottom right at the 6:30 time frame area. So if we sweep that, I think that that's enough to get long. Don't need to wait for the open, the exact open. All right, so we got basically 25 points of risk. So we can get in 4 down here.
Order working. Order working.
Order working. So we can get quite the move up here, possibly. We have SMT with ES until it takes this low. But we already have it here. Okay, yeah. Order working. So yeah, I like it to sweep out this little candle here, CE of a wick type thing. That makes sense. And YM's gonna take out that low. So yeah, YM's gonna take out this low, which will not be an SMT because we've already taken that low. But I mean yeah, that might be for YM and Russell. That might be an SMT there for a long. And Russell actually, holy. So we may be getting a long here. We do have those equal lows down here. YM takes us out. That gets us to have some SMT here in this strong range. So it may be wise to even look at a long in. What's going on in ES? So I may trade Russell too. We've got relative equal lows. We've got a little order block here. So that looks pretty clean. We had SMT here too, confirming this. So I'm gonna ignore the lows, the relative equal lows on Russell. Let's see if there's an order block on the 15-minute. That's significant. No. So I think this. So yeah, this order block down in ES or Russell. This one, and this one could make sense too. There's one little one in here, but I think this makes sense to come trade down into here because there's relative equal highs here, and then they just come to the midpoint of that and take it back up. So I'm gonna set an alert here. So longs in Russell, even though we've got some bearish flows, I think we misread that. I think that was actually a tricky one. And then what else? Dow Jones. Dow Jones could be along because it may be creating SMT now, relative strength versus these guys. So it takes this low out into the new week opening gap, um, while these guys like NASDAQ has taken out this low. So maybe we don't. It's just tough because you don't want to be in the wrong one that doesn't move. I think NASDAQ will still move, but oh, okay, yeah, we do have those clean highs up there, so there's a reason for it to go up. All right, so I think we are looking for longs because we've got. That's why it was tough because it's like bearish low, bullish SMTs. But yeah, I mean Dow Jones is looking bearish. Don't get me wrong. Oh. Um, but there is this strength happening here, and we can't ignore that. And we're still respecting this area with the correct form of SMT forming now. So can't ignore that. And for NASDAQ, NASDAQ hasn't taken this fall. Anyways, just want to look at these smaller time frame. Let's move lows, swipe them. Now takes out this low. Maybe to the, yeah, I think I like that long. 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay. Cool. So that's what we're waiting for. Other than that, um, if this breaks down and if this just invalidates the trade, I still like Russell longs, and I think that actually may be a nice play. even if these guys break down, I think if anything that should give the juice for Russell to go. And then just because of the rotation. And then what else? Yeah, so if we start to break down and we're just wrong about the long, and we get bearish lows and it's just bearish, then yeah, we'll be waiting for longs later down at these lows, or you know, once we start cracking some significant lows. Dow Jones isn't too far from its reversal point, in my opinion, and we have reason to short the Dow right now still, creating relative equal lows. If it bounces here, could be a good short into here. Nasdaq broke this low, so that actually might be giving Dow some juice. So like this short may have already played now, because we don't actually know if it's gonna come and make those lows yet. We could come for those later after trading back up into the range for premium. So that's why you just can't predict all of it. All right, well, I think that's the really long game plan stream. So that's what I'll be looking for. We got relative equal lows now here. So mark that out as the last little thing. We'll set a alert here. That may be the catalyst that gets us to move up. And yeah, so far so good. Yeah, I think that's it. Sweet. Cool. Adios.